Takeru Okazaki, the Wild Wolf of Tokyo. I don't see why the guild mocked you a hazard. You don't look so tough.
I don't have time for bounty hunters.
Welcome. Thanks for being here, everybody. Hail the chat. That's a little animation from my book Okurinu, The Wolf Within. Pedro did the animation for that. I love that cartoon, like intro vibe he got going there. I got Arizona internet, so I'm going to have my camera off to do this. So why are we all here? Let's get this started. I have a weird show cooked up for you guys today, and much like a good meal, a good stream needs its ingredients. So I'm going to bring on some wonderful guests I have lined up and ask them some few questions. So let's start in no particular order with Flying Feline. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you? I'm drinking wine. Weird, I know. And Bjorn says hello. Yeah. So, yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
So, like I mentioned,
hello, the chat.
good meals need good ingredients. So I wanted to ask you, it doesn't have to be necessarily your favorite ingredient, but what is it an ingredient you like to cook with? Something that's up at the top of your list. Garlic.
I'm a garlic fiend.
Garlic. Make some notes here. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in the next guest. This one always brings the good stuff. Good stuff.
Baby.
What is up?
All good stuff all the time. Not a whole lot. What's happening?
Not much. I just wanted to ask, what is your favorite ingredient?
Well, since Feline took my garlic,
Oh,
my next up was thyme. Fresh thyme. I love cooking with fresh thyme.
I like thyme.
Oh, I see how I snuck into that cookbook competition win now. Co-win. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our next guest. This one is actually responsible for all of the self-owned websites you see popping up here and there. Ray Haylock.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
So,
favorite ingredient? Y'all taking all my favorites. Fuck me, guys. I'm going to go out and say making my own tomato base, which I use for pizzas, pastas, oven bakes.
Yummy.
Instead of buying a shit in the jar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's super easy to make, and you can make a lot of it. Good choice.
And you can do so much with it as well. Worcester sauce, red wine.
Wrestle in it. You can
red wine vinegar if you don't have red wine.
Do so much with it. I thought you meant in it.
Nah, but then again, I did have the child, so I know what we're doing.
You did not have the child. Your lady did. Don't even try.
We
technicalities. And then next, we have Good Stuff's better half, Mrs. Good Stuff. How are you doing?
Hey.
Definitely better.
Definitely better. Haha. Are we supposed to state what we're drinking? I'm drinking beer.
If you want. Ooh.
Coffee.
I'm drinking Three Floyd's Gumball Head.
Is that a lager or something? Or
yeah,
ale?
Three Floyd's is the brewery, and Gumball Head is the name of the beer, and it's a wheat beer.
A wheat ale.
Oh, nice.
Wheat ale, sorry. Wheat ale.
Gosh.
So your turn on the chopping
Get
block.
it right.
What's one of your favorite ingredients that haven't already been selected, of course?
I have like a cliche one, but I'm going to go a little different because it is also it's not my favorite, but it is one of my super favorites, goat cheese.
Oh, yummy.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I love goat
You
cheese.
guys are selecting all the goods.
We gave Finn halloumi for the first time yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yum. That's
Yeah, you fried it
awesome.
up.
So how big? Did you do it in chunks or did you strip it? Or
We did it in little strips because we're trying to do the lead feed weaning.
Yeah.
So he grabs it up, and right now he's just squishing the shit out of everything. It's kind of fun.
Right?
Well, yeah.
That's what you're supposed
Guys,
to do.
Got to start them on that good stuff young. And then
Mhm.
last, but certainly not least,
Not
this
least.
guy has become one of my best friends here in this indie scene. I owe a lot to him keeping me motivated and in a good headspace. Luke, how you doing?
I am good.
Oh, good heavens.
Oh,
Woo.
Scotch. Skull.
One time.
Scotch,
Give me
scotch,
some.
scotch. I love scotch.
Concha.
Scotch, scotch, scotch. I love
Hi,
scotch.
baby.
Hi, gorgeous. How you
Oh.
doing, baby?
Cheers.
Fantastic.
Cheers, cheers.
Kumite.
And
Monkey skull, monkey shoulder.
Monkey
Goes down
skull.
smooth.
Monkey
Yep.
skull.
I finished
That's
a bottle
right.
of that not too long ago.
Oh, monkey
It's,
So
skull.
good. You gotta be careful. It goes down real smooth.
I drank
Yeah.
something called monkey skull.
So does that
Mhm.
Japanese.
Oh yeah, the Suntory Toki goes down even smoother. You got to be careful about that. Don't put that on the rocks. Don't chill it because you just drink it entirely too quick, and before you know it, you'll have drank 2/3 of a bottle,
Yeah.
and
It's the
you
only
will
time
regret
I've
it.
seen Luke ready to fall out of a chair.
Yeah.
That was a rough one.
You'll actually have to go back and watch the happy hour. I think it was like the second.
Yeah,
was
that's
either
when it was.
second or third one. And he was over at my house. We were streaming from each other. So I'm like making cocktails, making him drink all these cocktails, and that was fun.
Mhm. Since meeting that one, my tolerance for alcohol has gone up tremendously.
I have no
That's
idea what you're
good.
talking about.
No idea.
There's also
No.
also Howling Monkey. That's like a banana whiskey. I think it's another monkey liqueur.
Anna whiskey.
Interesting. That might be a better thing to do to whiskey than Fireball. Fireball is just
Yes.
a terrible thing to do to even bad whiskey.
Not a fan of Fireball. So Luke, what was your favorite or one of your favorite ingredients that haven't already been chosen?
Mushrooms.
I knew it.
All kinds of mushrooms.
I gotta
Bella-
tell you, you didn't have to ask him.
Right.
Oh,
I mean, it's either that or steak, but I mean, steak is kind of a main course. But yeah, mushrooms. I love adding mushrooms to anything. Yeah. I mean, steak or bacon. Bacon and
Yeah.
mushrooms kind of go with just about everything. You can add
Yeah,
steak,
pretty
you
much.
can add bacon and mushrooms to just about anything you're cooking.
We do in my work we do a mushroom compote with like sherry wine and shallots and sherry wine and all that. And I threw
right.
them on a cheddar ale soup as a topping as the garnish. And they just sat on top of it because it's a nice thick soup, and it was to die for.
Get it.
Party too.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
start taking some damn notes here.
Yeah. Phelan and I used to go to Mellow Mushroom, and we would get their mushroom soup, and it was so good.
Hey, they
It's
got
like this thick, creamy mushroom soup, and they have like little bits on top. Oh,
Well, they top it off with the truffle too. So.
yeah.
We have a
truffle
metal
oil.
mushroom close to us, actually.
That's probably one of the better things they do there.
Better to me than what
That
it is
sounds
now.
good.
Because the one in Asheville, man, it was like one of the originals, and man, I mean, it was like that was the pizza place, and then once they did the chain, it went meow.
Yeah. Yeah, like the quality of the pizza can be touch and go, I guess, depending on where you are. But I love the fact that they do like the really creative kind of.
We do the cosmic karma.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my favorite one.
Yeah,
Yay.
cosmic karma. Yeah.
He's
That big old
good.
pesto swirl.
Mhm.
It's making me
Mhm.
regret my small breakfast. I should have ate more. I'm gonna get hungry immediately.
You knew
again.
what this
But,
was.
Right.
I
Yeah.
ate some wings before we started because I knew we were going to be
Smart.
talking about food.
Smart.
Actually, had
But before,
dinner sitting in there waiting on me.
ooh.
Yeah.
So,
go.
but before
Yeah,
we
I
get into
ate my
the
one meal a
history-
day a little bit ago, and it was a big meal. Eggs and mushrooms and a salad.
Shocking no one.
I know, right? Just absolutely shocking.
Yeah, I
Hey,
feel.
fire got it.
I had
No one-
cereal.
Ah,
Yeah. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the breakfast of champions.
I
And
mean,
people
while
who have got
tasty,
clean to do.
not all that nutritionally dense, from what I
No.
understand.
Oh, well, you know what is Fruity Pebbles. That's
Yes,
like
it is.
that's like
No.
the king
No.
of breakfast.
Yep.
The king
But-
of artificial colors and sweeteners.
Love it, and it's
Turns
so
your shit
good.
multicolors.
Every
At least
flavor.
there's no-
I can taste every color. And I
There's
don't
no
taste the
aspartame.
flavor. I taste the colors.
Red
Yeah.
5, yellow
Right.
6.
Yeah, let's not talk about color changing poop. I'm getting PTSD here.
I was
Oh,
really
God.
scared.
I
when
bet you
drank
are.
That dragon fire or whatever it is. It's the stuff in the bottle that lights up.
What?
Oh, damn it! It's like a sweet wine or whatever, and it's called Dragon something, Dragon Stone, Dragon something. But it had glitter in it, and it looked cool,
Ooh.
but I was really scared that my poo was
Yep.
gonna be glittery.
Little gold
It may
slugger.
have been.
Glitter.
I wasn't.
Oh, fucking Goldschlager.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
Jesus.
But,
It's
uh,
different though. You don't poop gold. I mean, because you.
I mean,
No.
and gold's technically
like-
not. I mean, gold's pretty good for you.
Yeah,
in
you digest
general.
it.
It's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's why they make edible gold. But, I mean, I am suspect of edible glitter.
Oh,
I'm suspect of
what?
glitter in general. Surprising nobody.
Edible glitter. It
Microplastics.
just made me
But-
nervous.
Before we get into the history, all our cooking histories, I do want to, I already hailed the chat, but I want to bring up a couple people and say hello. We got Pale Rider up in here.
What up,
Yeah.
Pale Rider?
Food
Mo
stuff.
Biggs.
Yo,
Yo, Mo.
Yo, what's up, Mo?
What's up, Mo?
Cement Shoes up in here. And
What up,
believe
Cement?
that
Yeah.
is it that I saw.
Superbacker cement. Superbacker.
Fire Goddess.
Hello,
Hey,
Fire
fire.
High
Hello,
fire.
hello.
Wow.
As a
Everybody
prego lady,
for
I
being here.
approve of food talk, she says.
Oh,
There you go.
This will be
That's
some
funny.
good stuff, food stuff.
There it is. All right. So the orders that I'm asking people questions and pulling people on streams. I'm a DM. I love tabletop RPGs. So I actually was rolling dice to see who gets asked first what and all that. So this next order is another completely random. But this is essentially, we have all these memories that we build through food, and they're all very different. Some people, like me, we grew up not even really liking food, not really thinking about it that much, just grabbing what you could and what was cheapest. And then some people were lucky enough to grow up getting some of the finer things from a young age and learning all these vast flavors and growing a huge palate. So I kind of wanted to ask you guys to learn a little bit about you, about your culinary journeys. So how you grew up with food, how did that inform that journey, and sort of your favorite place to cook, whether that be you were at a restaurant or you had your own restaurant or cafe, like in the case of Feline, or if it was a favorite meal that you prepped for your family, or just in general a favorite memory around food. That's sort of kind of what I'm looking for. So first, Luke.
Yes.
What sort of brought you into the culinary world and started your journey?
I like food. I like to eat. And I love my mom, and she makes a damn fine red salad, and she can cut up or a red sauce and makes a really good salad. She's not really all that fond of cooking, and she didn't really do it a whole lot. She did it because she had to at certain points, but she's not a super big fan of cooking. My dad did a lot more cooking because my grandfather liked to cook. He would make Swiss steak, and my dad's mom really enjoyed cooking. Going over to my dad's parents' house is where I got all the good stuff that I liked for Thanksgiving, like mac and cheese, green bean bake, the ham, the turkey, all that fun stuff. And then on my mom's side, it's a bit more of a refined affair. We had creamed pearl onions and occasionally lobster, and didn't have like the cornbread and like the mac and cheese. It was not something that was ever really seen on the table. So I got these two different extremes, and I like food that tastes good. So I learned how to make mashed potatoes and Swiss steak and green bean bake from my dad's mom. And then on my mom's side, like the creamed pearl onions, which I'm really not a fan of, but different stuff like that. Desserts were more of a thing that like really tasty, quote unquote high end desserts were more of my mom's parents' forte. Usually with some kind of liqueur mixed in, which was pretty good. But
That's my favorite too.
I started cooking, of my own because I like food and I like flavors. And hanging out with this one right here has really expanded my palate and made me be a little bit more adventurous with my cooking. But yeah, it's because of my dad's parents mostly. That tasty grub, that like I don't want to say soul food, but like that feel good food that you eat. Comfort food. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Yeah. Still love me some mac and cheese. Green bean bake, lasagna, shells and cheese, like the baked ricotta in the giant shells.
That's one of the things ever.
Yep. Being Italian, we used to do red sauce and different types of pasta. Usually just red sauce. Not very often an Alfredo. Nana would make an Alfredo sometimes, but one of the first dishes I remember making, aside from like Swiss steak, was chicken marsala. And that's actually one of my favorite things to make is chicken marsala.
When he was talking about the mushrooms earlier and talking about the sherry and everything, I was thinking marsala wine in it and everything. Yeah,
it's one of those things that that we have like on hand here in the kitchen that we also have to keep hidden from the grandmother. Otherwise, she would.
And the vinegar.
Yes, and the red wine vinegar. They are hidden behind all the different spices, so she can't find them and drink them.
See, we got Tail Rider here. I learned how to cook because when you cook for the ladies, they're already at your place and just one bad decision away from sleeping with you. Yep. I can relate to that a little bit. That's one of the things that got me to start really cooking.
I can only assume his
really
slowly feed them alcohol as you're cooking. That way, they're hungry.
Right. Is that how that works, Luke?
I mean, either that or you go over to their place and they keep feeding you alcohol and then feed you food.
Right.
I mean, one or the other.
Anyway.
Either way, it leads to a good time. That's all I got to say.
Speaking of you, Feline, your turn. What was your sort of
journey? What? I didn't do it.
I swear it wasn't me. Who's the one man?
I don't know.
Rubble.
I had every kid's palates back in the year that I was born, back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth and stuff.
Brontosaurus steaks.
I know, right? But I mean, and I had a boozy bunch of people in my life. But there was like a health food store that we'd go to. Well, it was not health food. It was more of a gourmet. There wasn't like health food was different. It was gourmet. And so that's when I got introduced to like really odd foods. Like the first time I ever had fruit leather, oddly enough, was at this gourmet place, and things like that. So, I mean, my mom and my grandmother, we had gardens and there was all, always cooking things from scratch. And, and I remember having to sit there and shuck beans for hours. Golly, it'd be like, I don't want to shuck any more damn beans, and things like that. And then as I got older, and started, I think the first thing I ever cooked though, I think I was 5 or something like that. I wanted to cook breakfast for my dad, and my dad woke up to me cooking bacon in the kitchen, and it was burning, and it was great, but he humored
extra
me
crispy.
It was extra crispy. But as I grew older, just like working with my mom made like homemade candies and, and again, it's just different stews and soups and homemade cornbreads and biscuits and just, and then there was like the influences of, like my stepdad and stuff like that came in and taught me about, red-eye gravy and shit on a shingle.
Shit on a shingle.
Shit, stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, my first real like food that I made, like, first recipe that I can remember that I actually came up with was a meatloaf when I was 15. I did an Italian meatloaf. and gave it to some friends of mine, as a for them to try, and everybody loved it, and that became like one of my biggest things. And then of course, just ended up going to culinary school for a little bit, and ended up opening up my own place. I got something in the back if you'd like to show it.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up.
Yeah. And that was my restaurant, and that was my signature dessert. It was a stuffed crepe with
delicious, and the crepe looks good too.
I love
crepes. It was a chocolate ganache. That was it was stuffed with vanilla yogurt cheese that I made homemade, and then that particular one was the chocolate ganache, and then I also did a berry reduction that I would do compote that I would put. But yeah, so that was my restaurant back in the late 90s. And then I went on from there and opened up a place in Tennessee. And then I moved to Maine and ended up taking over a health food store and had a cafe there. And
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was actually curious if any of us had gone to culinary, because I have a friend who went to culinary school, and he said that it was a waste of money, but I feel like if you grow up in kitchens, it is probably a waste of money. But if you're like me, and
it was. I ended up cussing the guy out and leaving, like dropping out. I was like, he was this French dude that just thought he was, and I was not impressed. So yeah.
What school did you go to?
It was one here locally. It was but again, he was like this big wig chef from France that came to this, technical college that was going to teach, or that taught culinary classes and everything. And it didn't go well. I think I was 2 weeks into it, and it was like, nope, I'm out.
From what I understand, real experience in real kitchens is infinitely more valuable than culinary school.
By far.
Especially if you learn by doing and not necessarily being screamed at or
Well, you get screamed at plenty by the chef. Don't worry. Plenty.
It's
more. That's real kitchen.
But you're getting paid at the time to get screamed at. You're paying someone else to scream at you when you're in culinary school.
Always better to get paid while being screamed at and learning.
You get
that paying.
Or don't fuck up and you don't get screamed at.
Right.
Also, yes.
You get raises like me.
I learned that the hard way.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, freaking good stuff.
Good stuff.
I agree, Fire Goddess. It is relaxing.
Yes.
Well, it depends on what you're cooking. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it can be a little stressful.
One of the reasons, though, I think that the in-kitchen experience is more valuable, probably infinitely more valuable than the culinary stuff, is the culinary, you're learning your basics, you are getting repetitions in, but you don't have the added stress of the environment. I mean, there is its own stress environment, but it's not the actual kitchen. You don't have the orders and the timing. You only get a little bit of that in school, from my understanding. So I think that's why the kitchen's just so much better.
I would think as well, though, on the flip side of that, going to culinary school to learn the terms and to learn the proper techniques, it would be helpful.
Yep.
I think that would have helped me out tremendously. See,
that's how I feel. But I like listen to people who have gone, and just like Feline said, my friend said he wishes that he didn't, that he just learned in. But I feel like there's almost like a, not taking for granted, but just because like I want like how to make like a hollandaise and all that stuff. Like I would love to have a class where I could be taught through all those techniques and pick some of it up and all that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I learned all that on the job. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's how, it's like, again, I was only like 2 weeks into it, and I dropped out and went and opened up my own restaurant.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it.
See? Dang, yeah.
And I mean, these days, you can find a website, a tutorial, or a YouTube video on how to make just about anything. I know. I know.
We didn't have that. Well, there wasn't not even cell phones.
I had the chef's Bible. That's what I had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always been books, and then hands-on, discovery, hands-on, trial and error. It's often the best way to learn.
There it is.
Making mistakes.
Slam! The desk collapses under the weight of the book.
Right, exactly. This is the one that I had to get.
Yeah, the chef's Bible was about that big.
For the new professional chef edition, 6th edition, was the one that I had to get for the class. So what I did was I just sat there and read it. I was like, screw it.
Nice.
So it tells you everything. It tells you like different cutting techniques. Tells you, it literally goes through everything. So I just went through it, read it, and like I said, opened up my own restaurant. So yeah,
books, the internet before the internet, and you don't need power for them.
I mean, to be honest, I'm going into a restaurant and I'm paying for food. I don't care what technique you're using if it tastes good.
Right? Yeah, it don't matter if you're a chef.
I'm done.
If you're not,
nobody ever asks about your degree. Trust me.
Right.
No.
I don't even ask about the experience. Oh,
you can tell if somebody actually knows how to brunoise something, or if they've done the julienne properly, or certain like cutting techniques and things like that, or if a hollandaise is broken, or if it's not broken. I mean, there's those are the techniques that really stand out. So yeah.
And doing that creme brulee proper. That's
doing a creme brulee properly,
not scrambling it.
Yeah.
Set it on fire.
Once. Speaking of creme brulees, one of my worst kitchen flubs is I had a whole hotel pan of creme brulees in the oven, and I put it in, and I told everyone like, "Hey, my creme brulees are in the oven," but I used the broken timer to set, and so essentially it just doesn't work. So it'll run down and just do nothing. So at the end of the night, after I was going to bed, I got a text, and I was like, "What?" My friend Diego's like, "Yo, are these yours?" And they were literally just black obsidian glass.
Yeah, they're mine. I was making charcoal. I need that for later.
Yeah. No need to caramelize the top. It's already done.
Yeah, it's already done.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was bad. I've done a few of those flubs, learning the hard way in the kitchen, but it's that's how you learn. But next, I'm interested. Mrs. G, what your culinary journey has kind of been?
Good choice.
So if we start with how I grew up, I grew up in a military family. Dad in the Army and in the Navy, so we moved around a lot. And my parents were teenagers, so they weren't real experienced in cooking. And we pretty much, getting our food out of commissaries and stuff like that. It was a lot of, boxed rice mix and, not a lot of culinary prowess in the kitchen. So it was basically like following instructions on box items. Meats were usually cooked well done. I really don't remember any meats really not being cooked well done. But as a kid, I also had I had an aunt that would can things and make country cooking, like biscuits and gravy and fried chicken, homemade things like that. So it was always fun to visit her house. And then I have a grandma that is a Zen Buddhist priest, actually.
Nice.
And so,
I didn't know that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
She loves my cooking, so she's cool.
And she started in the theater. She loves my cooking. And she started. She worked in the theater, so like the Zen Buddhism thing was like a side thing for her. And then when she retired from the theater, she was the managing director of a theater in Wisconsin. So we got to go to finer places, like when we would go visit her. There were, even in the theater, like when we go visit her at work, there were like really nice restaurants actually inside the theater area, and she would take us there to dine. We'd get really cool dishes, and she was really into Asian food, obviously, and so she would take us to like authentic Asian place where you sit on the floor, and it was really cool to go visit her place. And then on the other side, my other grandma, had to feed 8 kids. So she was more like big, huge stock pots full of food until they invented the microwave. And I felt like she was just a tired mom who was like, hell yeah. I'll never forget when they got the first microwave.
Convenience.
And she was investigating whether or not the microwave was going to be able to cook a turkey for Thanksgiving. Thank God no one attempted it and everyone was safe. But or like freezer full of like the little microwave cheeseburgers and the little microwave French fries and you know all that stuff. So, long story short, I started working in restaurants for my first job, but it was never anything. I never got into anything more than bar and grill level. But cooked, served. I've done every type of job. Dishwashing, salad bar type of stuff.
I was going to say my first job was at a Quincy's doing the salad bar. I hated it.
Oh,
even
Quincy.
drive-thrus. I've done some fast food stuff like that. Deli and
Subway.
an ice cream shop. I worked in an ice cream shop once, which was totally cool.
Shoney's.
I loved making ice cream sundaes. That was probably one of the most fun jobs.
Friendly's was awesome. They had the best ice cream sundaes. Oh my god.
That was actually a funny story. That while I was working at Friendly's, I, without knowing it, this is before I actually like officially met Good Stuff and started dating him. I used to wait on his parents every weekend at Friendly's when they would come in because his parents would meet friends of theirs
every weekend, every Friday night.
And
Friday night.
So yeah, before I even met you, I knew your family, sort of.
That's cool.
And then where I got into actually cooking and creative cooking and starting, you know, obviously tagging along with Good Stuff as he was going on his culinary journey. Who do you think he was bringing home leftovers to? Whoop, right? I had good food. My first rack of lamb, my first whipped sweet potatoes, my first so many things I can't even tell you. And then when he was a sous chef, I used to, when I was pregnant, I think I told the story on another stream, I would call him up and be like, okay, I want something like this. Like, and I would just say these ingredients and he would like slap it together and bring it home to me.
That's awesome. Fuck yeah.
Real quick, you're talking about, you know, going to places with your family, you know, like I should mention my father because if I don't, that would be really bad and he's going to be rolling over in his grave. That's actually where I got really introduced to certain things was my dad, because my mom and my dad were divorced. So when I went down to see my dad, he would take, you know, he did not cook. He cooked knockwurst and sauerkraut, and he made spaghetti. And that was it.
Nothing wrong with either one of those.
There's nothing wrong with it, but that was his. That was the only two things that he would actually make. So everything else was going out with him. First time I tried caviar, things like that, you know, was with him. And every time I would fly down, I'd get off the plane, and he would ask me, "Where do you want to eat?" And it was like the Japanese steakhouse. I wanted hibachi. The Japanese steakhouse was my choice. But anyway, sorry.
That was you were supposed to discuss one of your favorite memories tied to food, so that was a good one.
I didn't mention my dad, and I feel really bad because he is a huge influence on my culinary prowess.
The Japanese steakhouse up the road here, when we go to it, they've got one of those little squeeze bottles like for ketchup or whatever, but it doesn't have ketchup in it, right? It's got sake, and they do this thing where they squeeze it in your mouth, and everybody claps and counts how many. Well, I was watching it come around, and everybody was just letting it fill their mouth, and it was only 3 seconds, 4 seconds. It got to me, and I'm like, I just start gulping. And they got to 15 seconds, and he's like, all right.
Yeah, he was like in a competition to see if
you open up the back of your throat and it just keeps going.
Good stuff. Pull the fucking Homer on it.
Well, now we know he doesn't have
the
a
jaws and open the throat. Don't forget,
no gag reflexes, exactly. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I have a really funny memory involving food. Good Stuff. Do you remember being really young? We were teens. We had just started dating, being stoned as hell, like back in the days when you first started smoking and how it was cool. Yeah. And you were all giggly and you didn't remember. So remember me ashing in my iced tea sitting at Perkins in the middle of the night? It was when they still had a smoking section.
Yeah.
And I sat
Oh,
there
yeah.
and I ashed in my iced tea, and then she brought me a replacement, and I almost did it again.
I've done that. Just not iced tea.
I did that a long time ago too.
Oh, that's fun.
Oopsie.
Nope,
Good
never
time.
Alright.
done that.
I don't think
So-
I'd even taken a sip of it yet.
Ray.
Speaking
What
of
was the question again?
eating good stuff's leftovers, good stuff. What was your culinary journey like?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess technically it started when I was young. I wasn't cooking by any means, but I was helping. You know, I was with my mom or my grandma. My
A
grandma.
poor black child.
I was born a poor black child. I had no rhythm. But anyway, but my grandmother cooked everything from scratch. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
Every little tiny thing, it was made from scratch. And she made such awesome food. When she was doing Thanksgiving, and she did it all herself. Everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything.
Yeah.
And
Well, you get it. They get it down. I mean, they've done it so many times. It's like, just rep it. It's like, you don't even have to look at it.
And the bad thing about that part is she never wrote her recipes down. So nobody has them and we can't replicate them. And they were so good. We've been trying to replicate her crummy apple pie.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to replicate her potato
Which
salad. The potato salad she made was so fucking good.
Was it regular potato salad or German potato
it was
salad?
like a deviled egg potato salad.
Okay.
But the way she did it,
I fucking love deviled eggs. Holy
the
shit.
way she did it was so good. Whenever she asked me, like when it was my birthday and she was going to bring something, James. Oh shit! Whoops! I said my name. Anyway.
Womp womp. Doxed.
Who's this Imagi person? What we're talking
Right,
about?
Image. Anyway, what do you want? I want the potato salad. So that was it. I loved it. It was so fucking good. But anyway, so growing up, my mom cooked. She was a good cook, but it was more the quick, easy. I need to feed a lot of people on a tight budget type thing because there were 4 kids and then mom and dad. Dad worked, mom stayed at home. So it was a tight budget. So she was always trying to feed everybody, but she did it in a really good way. It wasn't just slapping some shit together and because this is what we got. Even if she didn't really have anything, she made it
work
taste
with what
good.
you got.
Yeah,
necessity is the mother of invention.
So
you get creative with the
what
you got.
She wasn't like she didn't go through and do a whole lot of seasonings and she didn't go through and do a whole lot of stuff like that. But everything she made tasted really, really good, except for the Brussels sprouts because she just boiled them. And I hated Brussels sprouts until I got older and had real ones.
No, Brussels are
But
awesome.
anyway, so she made really great food. Grandma made really great food, which, I would stand next to mom while she was making food. And especially she would can applesauce. Every year we'd go to the apple orchard and she would get a shit ton of apples and she would make applesauce and she'd be peeling them. And normally she'd throw them into the sink until she was done and then throw them away. Well, if I'm standing there, they wouldn't make them to the sink because I would eat every single flipping apple peel there.
Boy, I bet you pooped good.
Oh, it was awesome. Anyway, fast forward, I
always regular.
I worked in restaurants. I started at 15 years old as a dishwasher at Frisch's Big Boy. And
hell yeah.
From that point, I worked every position in a restaurant, mainly cooking or in management of some sort. And when we went to Florida, I got to actually learn how to cook. I worked at a fine dining restaurant. It was like a 3 or 4 star restaurant. And that's where I actually learned how to cook. Everybody there was so cool. And it was kind of funny because my first day, the guy training me, he looked and sounded like Quentin Tarantino, first of all.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Hey, so this is how you do this, and don't fuck up this. Yeah?
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you listening? Hey, you paying attention to me, huh?
Right. And then I was all like, hey, dude, say, don't fucking Jimmy me, Jules. And he did it. I'm like,
don't Jimmy me, Jules.
Dude, you can fucking do this. Anyway, so he told me to do something. And I'm like, okay, how do you do that? And he's like, what do you mean, how do you do that? I'm like, yeah, how do you do that? He's like, you don't know. I'm like, no, I've never worked in the kitchen. He's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Not a real kitchen. I had flipped burgers. I cut open a bag and poured soup in a pot and heated it up. Actually,
So my friend Jeremy would pick on me because I didn't know what julienne meant.
Right. And so I had to learn all that on the job. And that's why I say sometimes it might be better if you did get to have some of the terminology at least down.
Right.
Because I didn't know what any of it meant. I didn't know how to hold a knife proper. They had to teach me how to hold the knife because I'd cut myself. And they're like,
I like Anne Burrell. If she sees you with your finger out on the, she'll come down and she'll mark it and everything. It's
Right.
like one of the cooking shows,
Yep.
Anne Burrell.
Finally,
and it's like, she'll mark that finger. Yeah.
I'm getting my callus back because I hadn't been cooking.
Oh, nice.
What up,
But we
Fanta?
started, hey, Fanta.
Fanta.
And so we started cooking like all the time for the cookbook. Then I started getting this callus back because I'm like, finally, it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm not getting a blister. Ugh. But anyway, so I learned how to cook there. I learned how to cook all the fine foods. We made all the good stuff. We, the hollandaise and the verplanks.
What's up, Tokame?
I learned how to make key lime pie, and I did
Key
bake
lime
stuff.
pie.
We did. Aioli.
I'll never forget when you realize like what it meant to actually take a live lobster and cook it.
I had to cook the lobster for
eye-opening
them.
experience.
That was funny.
It was tough.
My grandmother was too short to put the lobsters in the big pot. My mom didn't want to do it, and I wasn't there, so
You finally get
we let
to-
we let the main. I was doing something else. I was outside doing something for the house.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Always got me doing manual labor. Anyway, I would have done it, but sorry. Go ahead. Good stuff.
So from there, there was a opening at a place for a sous chef, and I had been doing this for a little while and figured, why not? I can do just about anything. So I got the job, and that was fun. It was just basic American cuisine, steak, seafood stuff, nothing, out of the ordinary. But that's at that place, I learned how to do a lot more because that became more of the helping really get everything, figure everything out, what to do, how to do it, so on and so forth. But turns out the guy who owned the place was a big douche, and I had to leave there.
That happened a lot.
Yeah. And it just so happened that the sous chef at the original place I learned how to cook at became the executive chef at this new place, a Caribbean restaurant. And he needed a sous chef. And so he called me like, hey, man, would you want to come be my sous chef? And I'm like, fuck yeah. And so there, I actually got
the Pope
to help.
shit in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, does Howdy Doody got wooden balls? I mean, for sure, right?
That's a good one.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't know, Howdy Doody was a wooden puppet.
Go look it up on the internet, kids.
It's Howdy Doody
time.
But anyway, so
Creepy
there
wooden
I
puppet.
actually got to help create the menu and the recipes for this place. And at this place, we did everything from scratch, every single thing. We even made our own mayonnaise. We brought nothing in a jar.
Which is a
made
lot
our own
easier than
mayonnaise.
what people. Which is a lot easier than people.
Yes, it is actually.
Yes, it is.
Everything.
It is.
Everything's and cheaper.
Exactly, and you can control what you put in it. So is ketchup. So is mustard.
Yeah.
I mean, make your own fucking condiments, people.
Homemade
But-
ketchup is delicious.
But this place was really cool.
Regular ketchup is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this place
Homemade
is really
ketchup,
cool.
good.
Okay.
Fuck jar sauce.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. But this place had 2 restaurants coming out of one kitchen. And what that was is it was a fine dining Caribbean restaurant, which was indoors, really nice setup and really fancy small menu, which switched monthly. I think it was monthly. We changed the menu up on that one. But and then the other, which was a more steady, it was the outdoor tiki bar. So it was a lot of your basic bar type foods, but Florida style, because we were down there in Florida. It was an Isle of Capri before you get to Marco Island. And so it was a lot of seafood stuff like we did. That's where we were doing the fried soft shell crab sandwiches. And we were doing,
I love fried soft shell.
Oh,
crabs.
and I had to make, oh my God, I had to deal with okra on a daily basis. It was
Okra.
We made gumbo. It
It
was, our staple soup or whatever was the
okra and
gumbo.
tomato,
Okra, little round snot ringlets.
Oh, but I got the benefit from that place
Yeah.
because I got
Yeah,
to choose from 2 different menus.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! Bring me home.
Nice.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Nice.
that was where I really found like an actual love for cooking was down in Florida when I started cooking on the line and actually learning how to cook and what it meant to have real food. I'd never had food like that. Not really. You know, I grew up with good food, like I said, but it was all like country cooking. It was all quick and easy stuff. It wasn't anything that was. I had steak au poivre.
Ooh,
Oh my Lord! If you haven't had steak au poivre, that is something you have to have. It is one of the best things in the world, and it's your New York strip, and it's crusted with the green and red and black peppers, and you sear it off, and then you pull that out, and you got your pan there, and then you fucking you deglaze the pan with what the fuck is that? Sherry?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And then you hit it with the demi-glace, and then you put your whisk and the herb butter, and then you hit it in the flour, and then you and then you pour that shit over top. Oh,
Preach it, brother.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
that
the
sounds terrible.
animated.
Sounds horrendous.
That sounds horrible. I don't know how you ever lived through that. That's
I guess I'll have to make you some steak au poivre. I got it.
oh my Lord! Steak au poivre is my favorite way to have steak, but it's
twist my
demi-glace.
arm.
Demi-glace is hard to find, and then I haven't made it.
Make your own.
I'd have to
Make
look
your
up
own.
how to make it. To be honest with
Make
you,
your own. You can make your own demi-glace.
it's been a while. Been a long time.
It's been a while.
But yeah, I learned
It's
how to
just
make hollandaise.
18 hours of reduction, but other than that,
Oh
you're
yeah,
Jesus.
exactly. It's
yeah.
because when you pull it, it's like a gel when you get to pull it out.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's like 18 to 24 hours that you have to sit and reduce it.
But oh my
I just
Lord,
say
it's
when
so
he
good.
came home at the end of the night, though, especially at the
Smelled.
first place where he really learned how to cook,
Uh-huh.
he stunk so effing bad every
Yep.
night.
I
It
Oil
smelled
and
like lobster guts. It
Yeah,
was
because
so
I was
bad.
in the ovens, which included doing the lobsters.
I mean, lobster is delicious, but they don't smell good.
It was so much better when I got moved to saute.
Oh, I
That
bet.
was fun. That was fun. Got 12 burners going, and every fucking one of them's got a pan of something on it.
Fancy.
Oh,
That
We were
yeah.
in a
intimidates the
car,
fuck out of
remember,
me.
and you'd
That
pick me
is-
up from work, and the car was already festering full of like I just sat down in like seafood hell.
So I just read Fancy's comment.
Fried okra.
Yeah.
Fried okra. I like fried okra too.
Fried okra.
Right, Oprah. I mean, okra.
Yeah, I like white. I don't do that meat.
It sounds
So-
all of it sounds awful.
What's
Fried. Okra, gross.
But
Doesn't
since
matter.
then, I have found my true calling, which is barbecue. It's barbecue, smoke, grill, any of that. That is my sanctuary. I could sit out there for hours, and I'm good.
I
nice.
feel
love
like
it.
we were watching like
Doesn't hurt that you
Barbecue
can smoke
Masters or
outside, too,
something
right?
Like that, and you were like,
Right?
I want a smoker.
Mhm.
Weren't we watching like the competitions on TV, and you decided you wanted a smoker?
Yeah. And then I got a little cheap one, and I'm like, this thing sucks, but I love
I
it.
miss my smoker. Damn it.
And then I went and got a slightly better one that didn't suck as bad. But I've had this thing for what, 8 years now? 7 years? I've had this
A
thing
long
for quite some
time.
time. It's a Dynaglow vertical, and it's the XL. So the cook box on it is 3 foot tall. 3 foot tall, 2 foot wide, 18 inches deep, and it's got the down on the bottom offset is the firebox on it, and I can put a decent amount of food in this thing. I love it. It's awesome.
So
And it's charcoal
what's
wood.
Oh, nice. What's one of your favorite memories around food? You mentioned a couple of them. You whisking up the topping for your steak was pretty intense.
Working that muscle, buddy. Working that muscle.
Right.
Also
Favorite
good for other things.
cooking memory. Probably, I'd have to say when our kids decide they actually want to cook with us.
Nice.
That's
a good one.
That's awesome. And even if they're not doing the whole thing, like with the beer can burgers and the cookbook, when everybody just gets to do their own thing with it, and it's fun. It's just everybody's laughing, and I want some of that, and every person's going, it's disgusting, and you're like, but I'm going to put this out. It's just, it's awesome.
Do you remember
Coming
when
together
Good
should
Stuff-
be a fun experience.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The second used to get so excited to make French
Ooh.
toast because he'd
Oh,
stand there when he was a little toddler. He'd stand there with the spatula
Uh-huh.
and he'd flip the French toast over.
What's
Good stuff. This was one made
Look
for
at
you. This was my key lime pie with a ginger snap cookie crust.
Ooh,
Nice.
Nice.
Mhm.
How do you do your key lime pie, if you don't mind me asking?
Deliciously.
What do you mean? It's been a while. What did I use? I used I want to say I did it with a coconut unsweetened coconut condensed milk
Mhm.
and concentrated key lime juice. And then I had like the little key limes and everything. I tried to juice those things, and that was a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
And then, God, it's been so long. Did I put egg whites in it? I can't remember. Was it egg whites or
Dang.
gelatin?
Looks good. That looks.
I
fucking
just
good.
remember it tasting really fucking good because I
I have to
key
go
lime
back and
pie.
look at my recipe.
The
I just
color
when
in
you
it,
said
yeah,
that, I
you
was
can tell it.
All right.
It looks like
Yeah.
a real.
Yeah,
Anytime
like-
it looks very, very green, you can
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, you like with the French toast.
Oh
But yeah,
no, I don't do
Use
that.
normally just regular sweetened condensed milk and then the egg yolk.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what is it? Benny and Joe's key
Benny and
lime
Joe's.
juice. Benny.
Oh yeah, the bottle of the key lime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, that's normally what I end up using. And then I normally do the regular graham cracker crust.
I am so
Yeah,
glad
not-
I ate before we
that-
did this stream. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I
that
had
reminds
bought
me of the
the
graham cracker
ginger
streaks that
snaps.
we
They
do.
were I found these all natural ginger snaps, and it was like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I'm gonna make a key lime pie with these ginger snaps. And yeah,
That's
you
good.
would.
That sounds
yeah,
good.
it was
Yeah.
so good.
All right.
And I have from time to time put a slight bit of the key lime juice when I'm making the whipped topping for it. You can't
Yeah.
get too much because then it's too much, but just to give it a little hint of the
Yeah.
lime in that whipped topping.
Also
I like
put a little
that.
lime zest into it as well.
Oh,
that
zest-
sounds
zest
good. I've
is-
never done that.
Yeah, zest is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So, last but not least, again, Ray, what was your culinary journey like?
Journey started a little late. I mean, I was a dishy at the age of 12, but didn't really discover my love of food until I was like 20, 21, where I got a job working for World Vision as a chef/translator.
Oh,
And
nice.
I can share a screen and I can take you through the journey and where we went and what I did, if you want.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Show it to us.
No tiny peen for you.
Oh, that's private. That's our private talk.
So I don't know if you can see my mouse. So
Yeah.
I have seen your mouse.
there we go. These are tiny
Oh,
peens.
God, you guys.
So obviously we started off in Joburg and we drove. We spent like 6 months driving, stopping, camping, cooking, wherever the journey took us. And we went from here to Pretoria, then from Pretoria to Mozambique, straight through into Harare, Zimbabwe.
Holy
Then we,
shit.
went to, then we went to Lusaka, and then from Lusaka we followed this road all the way through, and that's where we hit the kudu.
Hit the
blue
what?
square. The kudu is
Walk.
like a big deer type antelope thing.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
we were doing like 140 on a dead straight road.
Did you eat
Wow.
Yeah, of course
Did
we ate
they
it.
get hurt?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you
I
got
didn't-
to.
Everything got hurt.
No, I got a
I mean-
scratch across my face from his horn, but nothing
Well,
crazy.
Weren't you worried
Lucky.
about internal injuries and stuff like that? Because if you hit deer here, it's like they won't touch it if they think it has an internal injury.
Yeah.
What, me internal injury or the deer?
No, the deer.
The deer.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
deer.
because
Well,
it was
we were
spoiled.
driving one of these 2-ton lorries with all the food and supplies in the back, and we hit it with that.
Oh.
Okay.
So it was
It was
gone.
fine. It was gone, but we managed to like salvage the carcass and chunk
Well,
it.
you guys didn't die
Nice.
from it, so we're
Well,
good.
you
Uh-huh. No, and they got some extra meat.
Yeah, we ended up eating it, which was good. Then we went from there to Malawi, and then through Malawi we traveled the coast and we went into Tanzania, and we went all the way across to a base camp just at the base of Kilimanjaro.
Damn.
That's
Fuck
awesome.
yeah.
And there we had probably, I think, like 177 people. Like we had guests because there was an HIV awareness cycle relay where it was televised and that sort of stuff, where it's like the tourists like the Americans, the British, the Canadians, the Japanese, the Chinese, some Australians and New Zealanders came through. And what they would do is they would hop on bicycles, keep the cameras rolling, and they'd cycle for about 100 Ks. Then they put the bikes back on the trucks, put them in the vans, and then continue driving. So every time we crossed a border or approached a border, they'd get on a bike and cycle. And I was cooking for these people. When we got to this little place, Makami, which is literally right over here, and this is Mount Kilimanjaro. We were sitting there, and this is what the village looks like. Tiny little village. We're just sitting in there just cooking. And it was like, we got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we've got to make breakfast for these people. They promised us a barbecue pit and all of that stuff to go and prepare because we had all the pots and the pans and the ingredients. But because of the war and that sort of stuff between the Spanish and the Portuguese, that whole place was bombed out. So I don't know if you know those barbecue plates, that like little grids that you can fold open and fold closed for like sandwiches and stuff and toast. My boss, Anton, and myself sat, and we literally went and collected all the bricks from the broken down hotel and built like a 5 meter long knee-high barbecue and just put all those grids on top of it and cooked for everybody.
There you go.
Nice.
That's awesome.
We made
How you doing?
steaks, sausages, chicken wings, pork chops. We didn't have enough
Necessity
steak.
is the mother of invention.
Yeah, we didn't have enough steak for everyone, so my boss sends me to the local butcher to go and get steaks. They didn't have steaks, but I got thick cuts of chuck by mistake.
Nice. Yeah.
But cooked it, it was medium rare. It was great. And then after Makami, let me just go back here. Yeah, Makami's there. Let me just zoom back out again.
No.
Yeah, so that's Tanzania. So we basically followed this route here, went down through to Rwanda, went to Burundi, and then we did like a little sea journey like that into Congo.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
On the way into Congo, my boss was with the tour leaders and the World Vision head honchos and stuff, and he had my paperwork, my visa, my passport,
Oh,
my
no.
documents, everything. And the only thing I had was my World Vision T-shirt. I get to the immigration gate to go in
Uh-oh.
with all the food, and I ended up arguing with the Border Patrol, saying, I'm South African. Why would I illegally immigrate into your country?
Right.
And he's like, well, you're full of shit. Puts me in jail. And
No. Oh, no.
it's supposed to be a 3-4 day type trip where we all drive in, but the truck driver, myself, and all the food got locked up.
Impounded.
We've got 177 people sitting there with no fucking food, and my boss is like, "Where's Ray?" But my boss has got the sat phone, and this is back in the day before cell phones.
Oh, yep.
You
Wow.
know? So I ended up just drinking Jameson, and that's where I fell in love with Jameson. Ended up drinking Jameson with the
Why
police
not?
chief playing poker through the bars.
Nice.
And then he turns
There you
on the
go.
telly. He turns on the telly, and like from the day before, and all the cyclists are on the telly, and then he sees me in a truck following the cyclists. It's like, okay, well, you're stuck here until they come and get you. And then
Fuck.
you went into Burundi, and then again, this long road here down Tanzania. Went into Zambia, followed this whole road here. Went to Lusaka for a bit. That was cool. And then back to Zimbabwe, and then from Zimbabwe to Botswana, and Botswana back to South Africa.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's a hell of a trip,
Holy
man.
cow.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, though.
It's crazy.
One of my funniest memories is like we're sitting, World Vision gives us a Toyota Venture petrol truck to drive.
Uh-huh.
And we're going into the deepest, darkest corners of Africa where you're lucky to fart and get fucking diesel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended at the end of the engine sort of like stopped working. And then, you know, the little butterflies in the carburetor?
Oh,
Mhm.
no.
They melted. So we cut out Coke tins and like reshapes it. Put it back in the that got us another 150 Ks to the next stop. And while we were doing that, I was cutting rolls in the back seat, making rolls for everybody, like ham. and cheese.
Wow.
Holy
Also
shit,
serve
dude.
some good
cow,
food,
man.
too.
Yeah.
Also
So that
serve
was
some food.
when I discovered I loved cooking.
That's a fucking adventure.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
that's
that's a way to get into
adventure.
cooking, man.
Yeah.
I've reached out to my ex-boss, Anton, because they made a DVD for everybody. I never got the copy because I moved to China after that. Now we've got
Dang,
the
World
advent of
Traveler.
internet and Dropbox. He's going to send me a copy of the DVD.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's really cool.
So
But that's my
you,
story.
you shared a couple. You shared a couple memories in there. That were pretty dope.
That's
Um,
Yeah.
awesome.
But being at
Now-
the base of the mountain was great.
I bet.
Oh,
I bet
I
that was
can't
fucking
imagine.
amazing.
I
Seeing that
live
fucking
at the
giant
base.
mountain.
Yeah, I live at the base of the Superstitions, and it's beautiful. I go out my balcony, and I can just watch the sunrise.
Such
It's
a
nice.
beautiful, it's such a
Um,
beautiful area. Holy crap.
It is. But before we get on to the last question, because it is 4:03, so I want to wrap up soon-ish. I have one question
It
about
is
the
not at
competition. You guys did the Eat Good Stuff cooking competition, and I managed to convince your sweet tooth to let me be a co-winner with my dessert.
Mhm.
Along with,
Nice.
it was Raiden Radio's sausage orzo pasta, right? Is
Yeah,
that what?
Or
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
The pictures look amazing, but
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
curious.
really good.
Did you guys use your own homemade whipping with that when you made it and set it up, or by chance?
No.
No. Okay, I was curious
No.
because I want to
Sorry.
try it. No, you're good. I was just really curious.
Oh, the
about
whipped
that.
topping.
Yeah.
No, I
Um,
normally do, but we have been busy
Busy,
AF. We've been
yeah.
busier than a three-legged
Yeah.
cat trying to bury turds on a frozen pond.
What are
So
you talking about? How dare
Wow.
you?
Yeah, I used canned whipping too for my picture, so there's nothing wrong with
But-
it. I was just
But
curious.
normally I
Yep.
would have made it because I love making whipped topping because it's so much better than buying the shit. But,
Oh,
He
yeah.
does.
Mhm.
He does make his
Oh,
own
yeah.
whipped topping a lot.
yeah,
I'll be right
it's,
back.
we were just trying to be quick. And the only reason we didn't actually make the waffles is we don't have a waffle iron.
Every household should
Yeah.
have a waffle
I
iron.
had to
Waffle
go-
irons are
I had
great.
to go buy one. Yep, they are. They're nice.
But I will say, and I would like to point this out when, because initially I had made the rules as main course only, and there was a stream, and I think it was Hens, maybe somebody streamed, and everybody was asking, "What about a dessert? What about a dessert? We could do a dessert, right? Can we do a dessert?" And I'm like, "All right, do a dessert, but I'm not going to choose a dessert." Is what I was thinking in my head. Like,
There you
you do a
go.
dessert if you want, but it ain't going to happen. And then I saw that, and I was like, "Remember Mrs. Good Stuff when I said a dessert probably wouldn't win?"
Well, the universe
did my
made me
job.
eat those words,
Well,
literally.
Yeah.
Churro was speaking to him. Look,
Yeah,
I
oh
mean,
my
she's
lord,
got
it looked
coconut
so flipping good. Oh, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was beyond
coconut,
excited.
Heavy cream.
I was in the D&D
Yeah.
backstage, the DD&D backstage. Oh, the coconut cream. I have a dessert
Yeah.
that uses that actually.
No, it's not
a
coconut.
coconut.
It's not just coconut cream. It is actually perfect for whipped cream.
Mhm.
It is
Oh, I
uh,
see.
Heavy
Gotcha.
coconut cream.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy coconut cream, and
Okay.
you use
Does
it
it
to
taste
make-
like coconut? Is the question.
It does have the coconut flavor to it. But oh my god, put a little
Okay,
vanilla
alright.
and whatever your
Mm.
sweetener of choice
Alright.
is, and holy crap!
I'm
It's
not.
Yeah.
I don't really
Now-
like coconut, which is bad because
I love coconut
When
flavor.
it-
I just don't like chewing on the
When
Yeah.
it comes to that stuff, though, you add the vanilla in there and you add a little bit of sweetener, you barely notice
Mhm.
the coconut. It's
Yeah.
not as pronounced as you might think.
okay.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
I
I'm not opposed
do
to
a panna
cooking with
cotta.
coconut oil by any means.
panna cotta. What?
Yeah,
What?
the coconut heavy cream. It made me think I do a panna cotta with coconut milk and pureed mango and blood orange, and then I do a blood orange compote on top.
That sounds
Yeah, it's-
horrible.
Terrible.
And a
Horrible.
comma don't want none unless you got.
But the poll, we actually have a decided winner of the poll. Looks like they chose whipping wieners. So,
Who isn't
Raise
gonna
your
vote
hand
for
if
that?
you're shocked.
Right. Who isn't going to vote for that? Right.
I think good
So-
stuff voted more than once.
I did not.
Hey, smart ass. I ask the fucking questions, you give the fucking answers. Fuck that shit, dog.
now comes the
Wow.
fun part.
I
So,
saw that one.
yeah.
I love that one.
I
Yeah, that's the
couldn't-
best.
I couldn't be on that. I ended up punching that motherfucker.
Oh, whatever. That man's big.
He is.
I like him.
So,
I don't care.
He'd start swearing at me. I'd be like, keep going. This is fucking
Right?
hilarious.
Oh,
I love
bring
hearing
it
your
on.
accent.
all
Come
right,
on.
everybody. All right.
But
Okay.
granted, I probably wouldn't do anything for him to swear
I
at
need
me,
the
though.
floor.
Right.
Need the
Okay.
floor. Need the floor. I'm gonna set the scene here. As we're streaming, The Russian mafia has kicked in our stream door, shot me
Oh.
dead, and has kidnapped the rest of you and brought you to the gulag. Let me open this real quick and get ready to share. You're in your cell and the door slides open. You're in your cells, the door slides open. A single Russian guard walks in wearing a balaclava, holding string, a package of hot dogs, and a bag of buns. And then he shows you a video on his phone and says, "We are going to play a little game." One sec, let me share this. Oh, you got some knives? You did come armed.
Damn right I did. I got my knives. I got my little knives.
This is baby knife. She's gonna fuck you in the face now.
That could hurt still. That could
Damn
hurt.
right it could. They're sharp. Anyway, go for it.
Share screen.
Uh-oh.
Window.
Am I gonna have to fuck some
My
Russians
arm's
up?
gone.
I proceed to drink all the Russians under the table, and they let me go.
I was gonna say
You blew all the Russians under the table and they let
I'll
you
just
go?
pull out some vodka. And
Drink
we're done.
all of them under the table. I don't know where your imagination goes. Jesus.
But if
I
I mean, if that's how you want to handle the situation, you go right ahead, buddy. I am not
I'll
gonna.
pull out the Viva Roba and we're done. I know, right?
Oh yes, I love this shit.
I love this game.
This is
You
great.
guys remember
Never
this
played
one?
it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she was horrible.
I have never
So-
seen this before.
Really?
Yeah.
This.
Oh.
Have it?
No, I have not. I don't have TikTok.
I haven't seen this, but
I
you
posted
know.
it in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
it was in the chat.
They're
Oh,
going
she almost had
been
it.
able to catch it first try. See?
Oh.
Almost had it.
None of them. Just spoiler. None of them actually catch it. So yeah.
I've seen some catch it. There was one video on the man cave we played where she caught it.
I like her technique. Though.
Oh no shit!
I like her point blank.
But the
Jesus.
the Russians begin to show you this video and says, "We are going to play a little game."
No.
You notice the Russian is tying your wieners to your waist, but
How
instead
dare
of
you.
it being a naked hot dog, he puts a bun there and asks you, "What do you want on it?" The Russian is allowing you to dress your wiener however you want. You can select 2 condiments, garnishes, or toppings to put on your hot dog. What do you choose?
Easy
And how
peasy.
does it help you? How does it help you escape the gulag, or are they just a tasty last meal, which is your easy
Easy
out?
peasy.
So we'll go
My
down the
easy out.
line the
got
same
it.
way I introduced people. So Feline, you are first.
Sauerkraut, mustard, and onions. Are you kidding?
He said
Bam.
2.
He said
One of
2.
those got to go.
Oh, all right. The onions, sauerkraut, and mustard.
The onion, sauerkraut,
There you go.
mustard. Classic
Damn
choice. Good stuff.
Yes.
What would be your
That's mine. That's sauerkraut and mustard. That's exactly what I
Sauerkraut
was
and
going to say.
mustard.
Except, can I be more? No, I just want regular mustard. I don't want anything special. I like just
What you-
regular mustard with my sauerkraut.
I want the Dosendorf mustard. I want the real mustard.
I just want regular mustard.
It can't be just regular yellow mustard. That's dumb.
No, I want regular yellow mustard. That's what I
Yeah, I
want.
want the Dusendorf mustard. I want the real.
I want
frickin'
Lusty
mustard.
Monk
Weird.
mustard.
That Lusty
So
Monk's good.
Just
Feline
regular
and
mustard.
good stuff start having an argument about mustard in the jail cell, in the gulag cell. Death metal hero.
We're doing this to throw off the guards.
I
We're doing
mean,
this to throw off the guards so we can make our escape.
Exactly.
so does chili count as like a
Yeah,
topping?
that'll be one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
classic coney dog then,
right.
chili coney sauce with onions on top.
See, you and Fanta are on board with each other. I like it.
All right.
Yeah. I do.
Since you guys already chose the mustard and the sauerkraut, I mean, not that I
Yep.
I
You
can't
wouldn't
choose the
have
sauerkraut,
chosen
but
sauerkraut anyway.
I would choose the
Whatever.
mustard though. Like that's my favorite thing to put on a
You
hot
don't
dog.
like
I'm just saying.
sauerkraut?
I am
See,
learning to.
I'm the one
eat
that got him to
sauerkraut.
like sauerkraut.
You got me
especially
to
if it's,
eat
like,
sauerkraut.
real.
I'm not sure I
if
necessarily
it's-
like it yet.
He
I'm
likes
not
it. Don't let
talking
him
from
believe
the
it.
can.
I like
I'm
you.
Like
Are we eating the hot dogs or are they eating it?
Yeah.
Technically, you are. You're whipping it into your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Like ladies.
Jesus, this is gonna get messy.
Yeah.
I like mustard.
Told you it was
on my
weird.
face.
All right, this is good stuff. What would be your 2 toppings, garnishes, or condiments?
All right, my first topping is gonna be a Scotch bonnet, ghost pepper, and jalapeno relish.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be topped with the bomb hot sauce from that Hot Ones cooking show.
Hot on hot.
And then when I get
Dang.
the bun really close to his face so he can put my hot dog in it, the fumes are gonna make him pass out, and I'm gonna escape
Nice.
myself.
He's gonna take a big
Nice. We got one escape. I was gonna say that the chilies would definitely help you with little pepper spray.
I was
action.
just hungry and I was gonna eat it.
Yep. Yeah.
I was going to try to buy them off with like, hey, let me make you guys some chili dogs. Get some vodka. We'll have a good time, and then they'd pass out because they'd drink them.
I just turned into the machine.
And Ray,
I am the machine.
Yeah, see?
Your toppings.
I would probably just take cream cheese blended with jalapenos.
cream cheese on a hot dog. What is wrong with you?
Why not? You guys are taking all the good shit.
mean-
I'm trying to come up with something magic.
He went weird. He went weird with it.
I went
away.
weird with it. Get
I
some
was
cream
just
cheese.
turned
just
away
some
from
Take
that.
jalapeno.
it just because it's blasphemy. I don't know.
She took my garlic
It's
already.
cream cheese, not
Yep. All right.
Well,
So what this does mean though, since the whipping wieners got selected, that means the next episode I do of this will be sometime next month. I don't know if I'm going to do the first Wednesday every month, or it's just going to be random whenever we can get it going. And if some of you can't make it, we can kind of adjust and stuff as things go. But so I do want to. Oh, yeah, I forgot my intermission. That's what I forgot. I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I forgot my intermission video. But yeah, so I wanted to thank everybody for coming out and doing this with me. It was really fun. I'm like,
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate everyone's time. It was good to talk about something other than the drama and just selling books and
What
stuff,
drama?
which
I have no idea what you're talking
is, yeah, I dig myself into that, so it's my own fault, kind of. But so I want to thank everyone for coming.
Me, so anytime you want to talk about me, you just pull me on, and we're good.
So what I'm going to play for my outro instead, I do have these little songs I made for my comic, but I'm actually going to play my intermission as the outro. So
There you go.
Again, I want to thank everyone for coming, and we are
And for
out of
everyone
here.
here, go to Valkyrie's Play to watch him DM and hurt people and him try to survive and all that stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't hurt anybody.
And
What?
back equals stuff.
You're a DM.
Pete
Whatever.
Good Stuff's book is pinned at the top and in the description, and everyone's
thank you.
YouTubes are down in the bottom and their X accounts. So if you want to hit people up, you got everything down there.
Yeah,
So,
grab one of them
check that
cutting
stuff
boards,
out.
my feline.
So
All right.
what?
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Gotcha.
We are out of here with some nice
Score.
elevator music and home videos. Later, everybody.
Laters.
Coming to you live from a potato.
It's weird inside this potato.
Twice baked.
That's what makes it weird. It's mushy.
Are they jacketed?
If you want to be.
I miss skateboarding. Oh, it was so fun to be young again.
Bacon.